Life is often described as a series of problems, challenges that seem insurmountable. But what if I told you that by embracing a single teaching, you could solve every problem you face? Yes, every problem. The key lies not in the external world, but in how you approach it internally. Life is full of challenges, and every person, at some point, faces difficulties that seem impossible to overcome. But what if the real issue is not the problem itself, but how we choose to perceive it? The way we view our challenges has a profound effect on how we handle them. Understanding the power of perspective can change how we approach everything, transforming difficulties into opportunities and turning setbacks into stepping stones toward success. Imagine two people standing at the base of a mountain. One sees an insurmountable obstacle, while the other sees a thrilling adventure. The mountain hasn't changed, only their perspectives differ. This is a powerful example of how our outlook shapes our reality. The first person feels overwhelmed, defeated before even taking a step, while the second feels excited, energized by the challenge. Both are looking at the same mountain, yet their experiences of it are completely different. This is the essence of perspective, how we choose to interpret the situations we face. Our perspective is often influenced by past experiences, emotions, and beliefs. If we have faced similar challenges before and failed, we may be more likely to view new obstacles with fear or doubt. Conversely, if we have succeeded in the past, we may approach new challenges with confidence. But perspective is not fixed. It can be changed, adjusted, and refined, much like a camera lens. When we consciously decide to shift our perspective, we open ourselves to new possibilities and solutions that were previously hidden from view. One of the most important lessons we can learn is that problems are not inherently negative. In fact, many of the world's greatest innovations and successes have come as a direct result of facing and overcoming difficulties. Take the example of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's perspective on failure was not one of defeat, but one of learning. He saw each failure as a step closer to success, an essential part of the process. His perspective allowed him to persist when others might have given up, ultimately leading to the invention of the light bulb. Similarly, our personal challenges, whether they are related to career, relationships, or personal growth, can be seen as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. When we shift our perspective from seeing problems as barriers to viewing them as opportunities, we begin to see the world differently. Problems become teachers, offering lessons that once learned can lead to personal transformation. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can begin to ask, "What can I learn from this?" Changing our perspective is not always easy, especially when we are in the midst of difficult times. Emotions like fear, anger, and frustration can cloud our judgment, making it hard to see the bigger picture. In those moments, it's helpful to take a step back and gain some distance from the situation. Imagine looking at your life as if it were a movie, with you as both the director and the main character. From this vantage point, you can see how the plot is unfolding, recognize the challenges as part of the narrative, and understand that every great story involves overcoming adversity. This shift in perspective allows you to see beyond the immediate problem and recognize that it is just one chapter in a much larger story. Perspective also plays a crucial role in how we relate to others. When we are focused solely on our own viewpoint, it's easy to become stuck in a narrow mindset. But when we make an effort to see things from another person's perspective, we gain empathy and understanding. This doesn't mean we have to agree with them, but it does allow us to approach situations with more compassion and less judgment. Relationships, whether personal or professional, benefit greatly from this kind of open-mindedness. By broadening our perspective to include the views of others, we create space for collaboration, compromise, and deeper connections. In the workplace, for instance, leaders who understand the power of perspective are often more effective. They recognize that each team member brings a unique viewpoint to the table, and they actively seek out diverse perspectives to inform their decisions. This not only leads to more creative solutions, but also fosters a sense of inclusion and respect. By valuing different perspectives, leaders can inspire innovation and create a culture of openness and trust. The same principle applies to personal growth. When we remain fixed in our perspective, we limit our potential for growth. But when we challenge ourselves to see things differently, we open the door to new possibilities. This might involve stepping outside of our comfort zone, questioning long-held beliefs, or embracing uncertainty. Growth often requires us to let go of the need for control and certainty, allowing ourselves to explore new perspectives and approaches. It's in this space of openness and curiosity that true transformation occurs. One of the most powerful tools for shifting perspective is gratitude. When we focus on what we are grateful for, even in the midst of difficult times, our perspective naturally begins to shift. Instead of dwelling on what's going wrong, we start to notice what's going right. Gratitude helps us see the positive aspects of our situation, no matter how small, and this shift in focus can have a profound impact on our overall well-being. It's not about denying the challenges we face, but about recognizing that there is always something to be thankful for, even in the darkest moments. Mindfulness is another practice that can help us shift our perspective. By staying present in the moment, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. Mindfulness allows us to step back and gain clarity, making it easier to see the situation from a more balanced perspective. Instead of reacting impulsively to problems, we can respond with greater calm and awareness. This shift in perspective not only reduces stress, but also helps us approach challenges with a clearer, more focused mind. In the end, perspective is a choice. We can choose to see problems as insurmountable obstacles, or we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. The beauty of perspective is that it is entirely within our control. While we may not be able to change the circumstances of our lives, we can always change how we perceive them. This shift in perspective can make all the difference in how we experience life's challenges, turning what once seemed impossible into something entirely manageable. By understanding and harnessing the power of perspective, we can transform our lives in ways we never thought possible. We can approach challenges with greater resilience, navigate relationships with more empathy, and cultivate a mindset that sees opportunities where others see obstacles. The power to change our perspective is the power to change our lives, and that power is always within our reach. Focus is one of the most valuable tools we possess. It is the ability to concentrate our attention and energy on a specific task, goal, or intention. In an age of constant distractions and competing demands for our attention, mastering the art of focus is more important than ever. Those who can hone their focus are better equipped to achieve their goals, manage their time effectively, and create a sense of fulfillment in their lives. Focus is not just about eliminating distractions, it's about intentionally directing your energy toward what truly matters. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Our phones constantly ping with notifications, social media beckons with endless scrolling, and work demands seem to multiply daily. It's easy to get pulled in 1,000 different directions, and as a result, our productivity suffers, our goals feel out of reach, and we end up feeling overwhelmed. Learning to focus is about taking control of your attention and using it as a tool for progress. It requires discipline, awareness, and a clear understanding of your priorities. The first step to mastering focus is understanding its value. Focus is like a magnifying glass. It concentrates your energy and attention on one point, making everything else fade into the background. Without focus, even the most motivated person can find themselves stuck in a cycle of busyness without real progress. But with focus, you can channel your efforts into the tasks and goals that truly move the needle in your life. It's about quality over quantity, doing fewer things but doing them with excellence. At its core, focus is a mental skill. It's the ability to direct your mind toward a single point and resist the urge to become distracted by other things. However, focus is not just about willpower, it's about creating an environment and mindset that supports sustained attention. One of the most effective ways to do this is by setting clear goals. When you have a well-defined goal, it becomes much easier to focus your energy on achieving it. Vague or unclear objectives, on the other hand, can make it difficult to maintain focus. because there's no clear direction to channel your attention. Setting specific, measurable goals allows you to focus with purpose. When you know exactly what you're working toward, it becomes easier to ignore distractions and stay on track. Break your goals down into smaller, actionable steps. This not only makes the process less overwhelming, but also gives you a sense of accomplishment as you complete each step. Each small success reinforces your focus and motivates you to keep going. Another essential aspect of mastering focus is eliminating distractions. We live in a world filled with distractions. Our phones, emails, social media, and even our thoughts can pull us away from what we're trying to accomplish. To truly focus, you must create an environment that minimizes these distractions. Start by identifying the biggest distractions in your life. Is it your phone? The internet? Noise in your surroundings? Once you know what tends to pull your attention away, you can take steps to reduce or eliminate those distractions. For example, if your phone is a constant source of distraction, consider turning off notifications during periods of deep work or placing your phone in another room. If you find yourself distracted by the internet, there are apps and tools that can block certain websites for a set period of time, allowing you to focus without the temptation of mindless browsing. Creating a workspace that promotes focus is equally important. This might mean decluttering your desk, reducing noise, or setting up a designated space where you can work without interruptions. In addition to eliminating external distractions, it's also important to manage internal distractions, the thoughts, worries, and anxieties that can pull us away from the task at hand. Often our minds drift because we are thinking about the future, replaying past events, or worrying about things outside of our control. To combat this, mindfulness practices can be incredibly helpful. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present and fully engaged in the moment. When you're mindful, you are aware of your thoughts and can gently guide your attention back to the task at hand when your mind starts to wander. Meditation is a powerful tool for improving focus because it trains your brain to stay in the present moment. Even just a few minutes of daily meditation can help improve your ability to concentrate over time. By learning to notice when your mind is wandering and bringing it back to your breath or a focal point, you strengthen your focus muscles. Over time, this practice spills over into other areas of your life, helping you stay focused on tasks, goals, and conversations with others. Time management is another key element of focus. When we don't manage our time effectively, it's easy to become scattered and lose sight of our priorities. A good way to manage time is through techniques like time blocking or the Pomodoro technique. Time blocking involves scheduling specific periods of time for focused work on a single task, while the Pomodoro technique breaks work into intervals, typically 25 minutes long, followed by short breaks. Both methods encourage sustained focus by creating structured time for deep work and minimizing multitasking. Multitasking is often seen as a productivity booster, but research has shown that it actually hinders focus and reduces the quality of work. When we try to do multiple things at once, our attention is split, and we end up less effective at each task. The brain is not designed to focus on more than one thing at a time. True focus means giving your full attention to one task before moving on to the next. By doing this, you increase your efficiency and the quality of your output. Prioritization is another crucial aspect of focus. Not everything on your to-do list is of equal importance. To master focus, you must learn to prioritize the tasks that matter most and let go of less important activities that can wait. A helpful tool for prioritization is the Eisenhower matrix, which categorizes tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. By focusing on the tasks that are both important and urgent, you ensure that your energy is spent on activities that align with your long-term goals. Another aspect of focus is knowing when to take breaks. Sustained focus requires rest, and pushing yourself to work for long periods without a break can lead to burnout and decreased productivity. Short, regular breaks can actually improve focus by giving your brain time to recharge. The key is to take intentional breaks, step away from your work, stretch, take a walk, or engage in an activity that allows your mind to rest. These breaks help you return to your work with renewed energy and concentration. Self-discipline is the foundation of focus. Without discipline, it's easy to give in to distractions or procrastination. Self-discipline is the ability to stay committed to your goals and resist the temptation to veer off course. This doesn't mean being hard on yourself when you lose focus, but rather gently reminding yourself of your goals and bringing your attention back to what matters. Over time, discipline becomes a habit, making it easier to maintain focus even in the face of distractions. Cultivating inner peace through acceptance is a profound journey of personal transformation. Inner peace is not about external circumstances being perfect, it's about finding serenity and contentment within, regardless of the chaos around us. The key to this lies in acceptance of ourselves, our circumstances, and the reality of life as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. When we embrace acceptance, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of resistance, frustration, and suffering that comes from trying to control what we cannot change. Instead, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of peace and harmony with the world around us. At the heart of acceptance is the recognition that life is full of uncertainties, challenges, and situations beyond our control. We often expend tremendous energy trying to change these circumstances, only to find ourselves feeling more stressed and anxious. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means recognizing what is within our control and what is not. By accepting that some things are simply out of our hands, we can focus our energy on what we can change: our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, rather than being consumed by frustration over the uncontrollable. Self-acceptance is one of the most significant steps toward cultivating inner peace. Many of us are our own harshest critics, constantly judging ourselves for not measuring up to certain standards or expectations. We compare ourselves to others and feel inadequate, or we dwell on past mistakes and wish we had done things differently. This internal struggle creates a sense of unease and turmoil within us. When we practice self-acceptance, we allow ourselves to be who we are, with all our imperfections and flaws, without judgment or criticism. We recognize that we are human, and it's okay to make mistakes or have limitations. This acceptance brings a sense of relief and calm, because we are no longer fighting against ourselves. Self-acceptance also involves letting go of the need for perfection. Many of us strive for perfection in various areas of our lives, whether it's in our work, relationships, or personal goals. We set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and when we inevitably fall short, we feel a sense of failure or inadequacy. This constant pursuit of perfection can lead to chronic stress and anxiety, as we are always chasing an unattainable ideal. By accepting that we are not perfect, and that perfection is not necessary for happiness or fulfillment, we free ourselves from this burden. We can still strive to improve and grow, but we do so from a place of self-compassion and acceptance, rather than self-criticism. Acceptance of others is another critical aspect of inner peace. In our interactions with others, we often encounter people whose behaviors, opinions, or values differ from our own. It's easy to become frustrated, angry, or judgmental when others don't meet our expectations or conform to our views. However, this only creates conflict and tension, both within ourselves and in our relationships. By practicing acceptance of others, we recognize that everyone is on their own journey with their own experiences, perspectives, and challenges. We don't have to agree with or condone everything others do, but we can choose to accept them as they are without trying to change them. This doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior, but rather understanding that we cannot control how others think, feel, or act. When we let go of the need to change others, we create space for more harmonious and peaceful relationships. Acceptance also plays a vital role in how we deal with life's challenges and hardships. Life is full of ups and downs, and we all face difficulties at various points. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a setback at work, or a health issue, challenges are inevitable. Often our first response is to resist or deny these difficulties. We may try to avoid the pain, distract ourselves, or fight against the reality of the situation. However, this resistance only prolongs our suffering. When we practice acceptance, we allow ourselves to feel the pain, grief, or disappointment without pushing it away. We acknowledge that these feelings are a natural part of life and that it's okay to experience them. Acceptance doesn't make the pain go away, but it helps us move through it with greater ease and grace. By accepting the reality of our circumstances, we open ourselves to the possibility of healing and growth. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for cultivating acceptance. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present in the moment, without judgment or attachment to how things should be. It encourages us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without getting caught up in them. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of the ways in which we resist reality and try to control our experiences. We may notice that we are holding on to certain expectations or that we are judging ourselves or others harshly. By bringing awareness to these patterns, we can begin to let go of our resistance and practice acceptance. Mindfulness also helps us accept the impermanence of life. Everything in life is constantly changing our thoughts, emotions, relationships, and circumstances. We often cling to the things we want to last forever, and we push away the things we don't want to experience. This clinging and aversion create a sense of dissatisfaction and restlessness. When we accept the impermanence of life, we learn to appreciate each moment as it is, without trying to hold on to it or change it. We find peace in the present moment, knowing that everything is in a state of flux, and that's okay. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or apathy. It doesn't mean that we give up on our goals or stop trying to improve our lives. Instead, acceptance is about finding a balance between striving for growth and acknowledging the reality of the present moment. It's about recognizing that while we may not be able to control everything that happens to us, we can choose how we respond to it. By cultivating acceptance, we shift our focus from what we can't control to what we can, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions. This empowers us to take responsibility for our lives and create a sense of peace from within. In a world where so much is uncertain and unpredictable, acceptance offers a way to find stability and calm. It's a practice that takes time and patience, but the rewards are profound. When we embrace acceptance, we free ourselves from the constant struggle to control everything, and we allow ourselves to live more fully in the present moment. We create space for peace, joy, and contentment, not because everything in our lives is perfect, but because we have learned to accept life as it is. Through acceptance, we discover that inner peace is not something we have to chase, it's something we can cultivate from within, no matter what is happening around us. Harnessing the power of belief is a transformative principle that has been echoed throughout history by spiritual leaders, philosophers, and motivational thinkers alike. Belief shapes our reality. It is the invisible force that drives our actions, informs our decisions, and ultimately determines the course of our lives. When we fully understand and tap into the power of belief, we unlock the potential to achieve things we once thought impossible. Whether it's personal success, overcoming obstacles, or manifesting a desired future, belief lies at the core of it all. At its most fundamental level, belief is a mental state of conviction. It is the acceptance of something as true, even without tangible evidence to support it. This concept can be both empowering and limiting, depending on what we believe. When we believe in ourselves, our abilities, and our potential, we set the stage for personal growth, success, and fulfillment. On the flip side, when we hold limiting beliefs, such as thinking we are not good enough or that certain dreams are unattainable, we sabotage our progress and create a life of restriction. One of the most powerful examples of belief in action is the placebo effect. In medicine, patients who believe they are receiving treatment, even when given an inert substance, often experience real improvements in their condition. This phenomenon shows that belief alone can trigger physiological and psychological changes in the body. It highlights the mind's profound influence over physical outcomes and demonstrates how what we believe can directly affect our reality. While the placebo effect is often discussed in the context of health, its implications extend far beyond the medical field. It serves as a metaphor for how our beliefs shape all areas of our lives. At the heart of harnessing belief is understanding that our thoughts are not just fleeting mental experiences, they are creative forces. Our beliefs shape our thoughts, and our thoughts, in turn, shape our actions and behaviors. If we constantly think negatively or doubt ourselves, we limit our actions and hesitate to pursue opportunities. But when we believe that we can achieve our goals, we take bold, decisive steps toward them. This is why belief is so crucial in personal development and success. Belief acts as the fuel that propels us forward, even in the face of challenges and setbacks. Belief also plays a significant role in how we perceive challenges. Life is filled with obstacles, both big and small, and the way we approach these challenges is directly influenced by our beliefs. Those who believe that challenges are opportunities for growth and learning tend to persevere and ultimately succeed. They view setbacks as temporary and use them as stepping stones toward their goals. On the other hand, those who believe that challenges are insurmountable or that failure defines them often give up at the first sign of difficulty. This difference in mindset illustrates how belief shapes not only our perception of the world, but also our ability to navigate it. A key aspect of harnessing the power of belief is recognizing and changing limiting beliefs. We all carry beliefs that hold us back, whether we are aware of them or not. These limiting beliefs are often formed during childhood or as a result of past experiences. They might manifest as thoughts like "I'm not smart enough, I don't deserve success," or "I'm too old to start something new." These beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. If we believe we are not capable, we won't take the necessary actions to prove otherwise. Identifying and challenging these limiting beliefs is the first step in breaking free from them. By replacing them with empowering beliefs, such as "I am capable, I deserve success," or "It's never too late to pursue my dreams," we open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities. Visualization is a powerful tool for strengthening belief. By vividly imagining ourselves achieving our goals, we create a mental image of success that reinforces our belief in its possibility. Visualization helps to align our subconscious mind with our desires, making it easier to take the actions necessary to bring them to fruition. Athletes, performers, and successful individuals across all fields often use visualization to prepare for success. They imagine themselves crossing the finish line, delivering a perfect performance, or achieving their desired outcome. This practice not only boosts confidence but also strengthens the belief that success is possible. When we repeatedly visualize success, we begin to believe it's within reach, and this belief shapes our actions and decisions in powerful ways. Affirmations are another technique for harnessing the power of belief. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce empowering beliefs. By repeating affirmations regularly, we reprogram our subconscious mind and replace limiting beliefs with more constructive ones. For example, saying "I am capable of achieving my goals" or "I attract success and abundance" can help shift our mindset from doubt to confidence. Over time, these affirmations become ingrained in our thinking, influencing our actions and leading to real change in our lives. The key to making affirmations effective is to truly believe in the words you are saying. It's not just about repeating a mantra, it's about embodying the belief behind it. Belief is also closely tied to resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity and keep moving forward, even when faced with difficulties. Those who have a strong belief in themselves and their abilities are more likely to remain resilient in the face of setbacks. They understand that failure is not the end, but merely a part of the journey towards success. Their belief keeps them focused on the bigger picture and prevents them from being discouraged by temporary setbacks. In contrast, those with weak beliefs are more likely to be derailed by obstacles. They may view failure as confirmation of their limitations, rather than as an opportunity to learn and grow. Harnessing the power of belief also involves faith in ourselves, faith in the process, and faith in something greater than ourselves. This doesn't necessarily mean religious faith, although for many people, spiritual belief can be a powerful source of strength and guidance. Rather, it's about trusting that things will work out, even when we can't see how. It's about having faith that our efforts will eventually bear fruit, even when the results aren't immediately visible. This kind of faith allows us to stay committed to our goals, even when the path is uncertain or difficult. The power of belief is not just about positive thinking or wishful dreaming, it's about aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with our deepest desires. It's about cultivating a mindset that supports our goals rather than sabotages them. When we believe in our abilities and the possibility of success, we are more likely to take the actions necessary to achieve our goals. Our beliefs shape our reality, and by consciously choosing empowering beliefs, we create a life that aligns with our highest aspirations. Developing emotional resilience is an essential life skill that allows individuals to navigate challenges, setbacks, and adversities with strength and grace. Emotional resilience refers to the ability to bounce back from difficult situations, adapt to change, and maintain a sense of well-being despite the obstacles life presents. In a world that is constantly evolving and filled with uncertainties, emotional resilience becomes a critical asset for personal growth, mental health, and overall happiness. At its core, emotional resilience is about how we respond to stress, disappointment, and adversity. It's not about avoiding these situations altogether, as they are an inevitable part of life, but rather about how we cope with and recover from them. Resilient individuals possess an inner strength that allows them to face challenges head-on, while maintaining a positive outlook and belief in their ability to overcome difficulties. This inner strength is not something we are born with, rather, it is a quality that can be developed and nurtured over time through intentional practices and mindset shifts. One of the fundamental aspects of developing emotional resilience is cultivating self-awareness. Self-awareness involves understanding our emotions, recognizing our triggers, and being mindful of how we react to stress and adversity. It's about being honest with ourselves about what we are feeling in any given moment and allowing ourselves to experience those emotions without judgment. When we are self-aware, we can better understand the root cause of our emotions and respond to them in a healthy and constructive manner. This self-awareness is the foundation for emotional resilience because it helps us manage our emotional responses in a way that promotes growth rather than dwelling on negativity. Another key element of emotional resilience is developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that we can learn and grow from our experiences, even when those experiences are difficult or painful. It's the understanding that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone on the path to success. Resilient individuals embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than as insurmountable obstacles. When we adopt a growth mindset, we begin to see setbacks and failures as temporary and manageable, rather than as permanent and overwhelming. This perspective allows us to stay focused on our long-term goals and remain motivated to keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity. Emotional resilience also involves developing healthy coping strategies for managing stress. Stress is a natural part of life, but how we deal with it can either strengthen or weaken our resilience. Resilient individuals have a toolkit of coping mechanisms that they can rely on when faced with stressful situations. These coping strategies might include mindfulness practices such as meditation or deep breathing, engaging in physical activity to release tension, journaling to process emotions, or talking to a trusted friend or therapist for support. By having these coping mechanisms in place, we are better equipped to handle stress in a way that promotes emotional well-being, rather than letting it overwhelm us. One of the most powerful ways to build emotional resilience is by fostering a strong support system. Humans are inherently social beings, and having meaningful connections with others can provide us with the strength and encouragement we need to overcome challenges. Resilient individuals don't try to go it alone, they lean on their support network when times get tough. This might include family, friends, mentors, or colleagues who offer a listening ear, a different perspective, or practical advice. Having people we can trust and confide in helps us feel less isolated in our struggles and reminds us that we are not alone in facing life's difficulties. Along with social support, emotional resilience is strengthened by practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially during times of struggle or failure. It's about recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and faces challenges, and that these experiences do not define our worth. Resilient individuals are gentle with themselves when things don't go as planned. Instead of being overly critical or harsh, they offer themselves the same kindness and encouragement they would offer a friend in a similar situation. This self-compassion allows us to recover from setbacks more quickly, as we are not bogged down by feelings of shame or inadequacy. Another important aspect of emotional resilience is learning to accept change as a natural part of life. Life is constantly changing, and no matter how much we try to plan or control our circumstances, things won't always go according to our expectations. Resilient individuals understand that change is inevitable, and that resisting it only creates more stress and frustration. Instead, they practice adaptability and flexibility, learning to go with the flow and adjust their plans when necessary. This adaptability is a hallmark of emotional resilience, as it allows individuals to remain grounded and focused even when life throws unexpected curveballs their way. One of the biggest challenges to emotional resilience is the fear of failure. Many people shy away from taking risks or pursuing their goals because they are afraid of failing. However, resilient individuals understand that failure is not something to be feared, but rather something to be embraced as a learning opportunity. They recognize that failure is an essential part of the growth process, and that every setback offers valuable lessons that can be applied to future endeavors. By reframing failure as a stepping stone to success, resilient individuals are able to take risks and pursue their goals with confidence, knowing that even if things don't go as planned, they have the strength and resilience to bounce back. Developing emotional resilience also requires practicing gratitude. Gratitude is the practice of focusing on the positive aspects of life, even in the face of adversity. When we make a habit of expressing gratitude for the things we have, the people in our lives, and the experiences we've gained, we shift our focus away from what is lacking or going wrong and instead appreciate the abundance that surrounds us. Gratitude fosters a sense of contentment and well-being, even in difficult times, and helps us maintain a positive outlook. Resilient individuals regularly practice gratitude, which enhances their ability to stay optimistic and focused, no matter what challenges they may face. Building emotional resilience involves cultivating a sense of purpose. When we have a clear sense of purpose or a greater meaning behind what we do, it gives us the motivation and determination to persevere through tough times. Resilient individuals are often driven by a deep sense of purpose, whether it's related to their career, their relationships, or their personal goals. This purpose provides them with a sense of direction and gives them the strength to keep going, even when the road is difficult. By identifying and connecting with our purpose, we can develop the emotional resilience needed to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and determination. Living with purpose and intention is one of the most fulfilling ways to approach life. It means living in alignment with your values, passions, and the things that truly matter to you. When you live with purpose, you wake up each day with a sense of direction and meaning, rather than just going through the motions of life without a clear goal. Intention, on the other hand, is about being deliberate in your actions and choices. It's about making conscious decisions that support your purpose and align with the life you want to create. Together, purpose and intention are powerful forces that can guide you toward a more meaningful and satisfying life. To live with purpose and intention, the first step is understanding what your purpose is. Your purpose is the overarching reason you exist, the driving force behind your actions, and the contribution you want to make to the world. For some people, purpose might be tied to their career, their family, or a cause they deeply care about. For others, it might be about personal growth, self-discovery, or spiritual fulfillment. Whatever your purpose is, it gives you a sense of direction and helps you stay focused on what truly matters. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning and motivates you to keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. Discovering your purpose can be a journey in itself. It requires self-reflection and a deep understanding of your values, passions, and strengths. You might start by asking yourself some key questions. What are the things that light you up? What activities make you lose track of time? What do you care about so deeply that you're willing to put in the hard work to make a difference? What legacy do you want to leave behind? These questions can help you uncover the things that are most important to you and guide you toward your purpose. Once you have a clearer sense of your purpose, the next step is to align your actions with it. This is where living with intention comes into play. Living with intention means making deliberate choices that support your purpose and move you closer to your goals. It's about being mindful of how you spend your time, energy, and resources, and ensuring that your daily actions reflect the life you want to create. This might mean setting clear priorities, saying no to things that don't serve your purpose, and focusing on what truly matters to you. Intentional living requires a shift in mindset. It's about moving from a reactive way of living where you're constantly responding to external demands and circumstances to a proactive way of living, where you take control of your choices and actions. When you live with intention, you're not just letting life happen to you, you're actively shaping your life in a way that aligns with your purpose. This doesn't mean that you have to have everything figured out or that you'll never encounter challenges or setbacks. But it does mean that you approach life with clarity and focus, knowing that each step you take is bringing you closer to your goals. A key aspect of living with purpose and intention is setting meaningful goals. These goals should be aligned with your purpose and reflect the things that are most important to you. When you set goals with intention, you're not just chasing success for the sake of success, you're working towards something that truly matters to you. Your goals become a roadmap for living with purpose, helping you stay focused on what's important and avoid getting distracted by things that don't contribute to your overall mission. Setting intentional goals also involves breaking them down into actionable steps. It's not enough to have a big, lofty goal, you need to know how you're going to get there. By breaking your goals down into smaller, manageable tasks, you can create a clear plan for how to achieve them. Each small step you take brings you closer to your larger purpose, and this sense of progress can be incredibly motivating. In addition to setting goals, living with purpose and intention requires regular self-reflection. This means taking the time to evaluate your actions and decisions to ensure that they are aligned with your purpose. Self-reflection allows you to assess whether you're living in accordance with your values and whether your daily choices are supporting the life you want to create. It's a chance to course correct if needed and make adjustments to stay on track. Living with purpose and intention also means being open to growth and change. As you move through life, your purpose may evolve and your priorities may shift. What was important to you 5 years ago might not be as meaningful to you today, and that's okay. Part of living with purpose is being flexible and adaptable, allowing yourself to grow and change as you gain new experiences and insights. It's important to regularly reassess your purpose and goals to ensure that they're still aligned with who you are and what you want out of life. Another important aspect of intentional living is cultivating a sense of gratitude. When you live with purpose and intention, you become more aware of the things that truly matter to you, and this awareness naturally leads to a greater sense of gratitude. You begin to appreciate the small moments of joy, the relationships that support you, and the opportunities that align with your purpose. Gratitude helps you stay grounded and focused on the positive aspects of your life, even when things aren't going perfectly. Living with purpose and intention involves serving others. Purpose is often tied to something greater than ourselves, and when we live with purpose, we naturally seek ways to contribute to the well-being of others. This might involve giving back to your community, supporting a cause you believe in, or simply being kind and compassionate to those around you. Serving others not only enhances your sense of purpose, but it also brings a deeper sense of fulfillment and meaning to your life. Manifestation is a process, not a magical wish. It starts with intention, clarity, and a deep belief that whatever you desire can be yours. Today I want to share with you the exact steps I take to manifest anything I want in my life, whether it's personal success, a dream job, or even inner peace. When it comes to manifesting anything in life, the very first and most crucial step is clarity of desire. This is the foundation upon which everything else rests. Without clear and specific intentions, the process of manifestation becomes haphazard and lacks direction. It's like embarking on a journey without knowing the destination. How can you expect to arrive anywhere meaningful? Clarity provides that destination, that pinpoint focus which helps guide all your energy, thoughts, and actions toward the achievement of your goal. But clarity is not as simple as it sounds. It requires deep reflection, understanding, and deliberate intention. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a vast forest. You know there's something valuable on the other side, but if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, how will you know the best path to take? This is how life works when you're unclear about your desires. Life is the forest, filled with countless opportunities, paths, and distractions. Without clarity, you might find yourself wandering aimlessly, unsure of where to go or what to do next. You might even stumble upon things, but they may not be what you truly want. Clarity acts as your compass in this scenario, guiding you toward the specific goal you seek. Clarity begins with knowing yourself deeply. Often we think we know what we want, but when we dig a little deeper, we find that our desires are influenced by external factors, expectations from society, family, or even cultural norms. True clarity of desire means stripping away all these external influences and focusing solely on what you truly want from within. This requires self-reflection, and sometimes it's uncomfortable because it forces you to confront aspects of yourself that you may have ignored. It may involve asking hard questions like, why do I want this? Or is this truly something that aligns with who I am? For example, let's say someone wants financial success. On the surface, this seems like a clear desire. However, if they take the time to reflect, they might realize that the desire for financial success stems from a deeper yearning for security or approval. Maybe they've been conditioned to believe that financial success equals self-worth, or perhaps they're seeking validation from others. Clarity of desire helps you differentiate between what you truly want and what you think you should want. Once you strip away those layers, your true desire emerges, and it's often more authentic and aligned with your core values. This level of clarity also allows you to be specific about what you want. Vague desires lead to vague outcomes. If you simply say, I want to be happy, what does that even mean? Happiness is a broad term and means different things to different people. For one person, happiness might mean having fulfilling relationships, while for another it could mean traveling the world. You need to define happiness in your terms. What exactly would bring you happiness? The more specific you can be, the easier it is for you to focus your energy on achieving that desire. Let's take another example, the desire to find love. Many people want love, but they don't always have a clear picture of what that love looks like for them. If you're not clear, you might find yourself in relationships that don't fulfill you or align with your values. However, if you can get crystal clear on what kind of love you desire, what qualities you want in a partner, what kind of relationship you want to experience, then you can start to align your actions, beliefs, and mindset to attract that specific type of love. The universe responds to clarity. When you are clear about what you want, you send out a powerful signal that aligns with your desires, making it easier for those desires to manifest. Another aspect of clarity of desire is understanding why you want what you want. This involves going beyond the surface level of desire and getting to the root of your motivations. The why behind your desire is important because it's what gives your desire its energy and power. If you want something for superficial reasons, like impressing others or fitting into societal expectations, the energy behind that desire might be weak. However, when your why is deeply personal and meaningful, it becomes a powerful force that drives you forward. For instance, let's say you want to start your own business. If your desire is rooted in wanting to prove something to others or gain status, the drive behind that goal might wane over time. On the other hand, if your desire comes from a deep passion for the work you want to do and the impact you want to make, your drive will be stronger and more sustainable. When you have clarity not just about what you want, but also why you want it, your manifestation efforts become much more effective. In the process of gaining clarity, it's also essential to be open to changing your desires. As you grow and evolve, so too might your desires. What you wanted 5 years ago might not be what you want today, and that's okay. Clarity is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. As you learn more about yourself, your desires may shift, and it's important to be adaptable and willing to realign with your new vision. This flexibility allows you to stay true to your authentic self and ensures that you're always manifesting from a place of true intention. One final aspect of clarity of desire is the importance of visualization. When you are clear about what you want, it becomes much easier to visualize that desire in detail. Visualization is a key part of manifestation because it helps you embody the feeling of having already achieved your desire. When you can see your desired outcome clearly in your mind, you start to believe in its possibility. This belief creates the energy and momentum needed to bring your desire into reality. When it comes to manifesting anything in life, one of the most powerful tools you can use is the combination of visualization and emotion. Visualization, in its simplest form, is the act of imagining your desired outcome in vivid detail. However, it is not just about seeing the picture in your mind, it's about feeling it deeply as though it's already real. This is where emotion comes into play. Without the emotional component, visualization can become an empty mental exercise. But when you infuse your visualizations with genuine emotion, you elevate your manifestation practice to a whole new level, creating a magnetic force that draws your desires toward you. Visualization is about more than just daydreaming. It is a deliberate practice that requires focus, attention, and intention. You begin by forming a clear mental image of what you want to manifest. If, for example, you want to attract a new job, you imagine yourself in the role you desire. But instead of just seeing yourself at a desk or in a meeting, you go deeper. You picture the environment in rich detail. What does the office look like? What kind of work are you doing? Who are the people around you? You create a mental movie, but instead of watching from the outside, you place yourself directly in the scene, experiencing it as if it is happening in the present moment. Visualization alone is not enough. What truly amplifies its power is emotion. Emotions are energy, and when you feel deeply about something, you send out powerful vibrations into the universe. These vibrations match the frequency of what you desire and help attract it into your life. The stronger and more positive the emotion, the more aligned you are with your desired outcome. For example, if you're visualizing a new job but feel indifferent or doubtful about it, your energy won't be in alignment with your goal. On the other hand, if you visualize the job and feel excited, fulfilled, and grateful as though you already have it, you are sending out the perfect energetic signal to manifest it. The key is to feel the emotions associated with having already achieved your goal. This might feel strange at first, because your logical mind knows that the desire hasn't manifested yet. But your subconscious mind, the part of your brain that is responsible for your beliefs and behaviors, doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you visualize with emotion, you essentially trick your subconscious mind into believing that your desired outcome is already your reality. This is crucial because your subconscious mind drives your actions, behaviors, and responses to life circumstances. When it believes something is true, it works tirelessly to align your actions and mindset with that belief. Let's take the example of manifesting financial abundance. You could visualize yourself receiving a large sum of money. You could see yourself opening your bank account and watching the numbers grow, or picture yourself receiving a check. But don't stop there. To make the visualization truly effective, you must tap into the emotions you would feel if this were happening in real life. How would you feel when you see that money in your account? Would you feel relief, joy, excitement, or gratitude? Let those emotions flow through you as you visualize the experience. Feel the weight of the check in your hand, the satisfaction of knowing that your financial situation has improved, and the sense of security that comes with it. By immersing yourself in these emotions, you activate the energy of abundance and attract it into your life. The emotional component also helps you build the belief that your desire is possible and already on its way to you. This is important because belief is one of the most critical aspects of manifestation. If you don't truly believe that what you want is attainable, your efforts will be undermined by doubt and fear. By consistently visualizing your desires with strong emotions, you create a new belief system that supports your goals. Over time, your mind and body begin to align with this new reality, making it easier for you to take the actions necessary to bring your desire to fruition. Another benefit of visualizing with emotion is that it helps to keep you focused and motivated. Manifestation is not always an instant process. Sometimes it takes time and requires patience. During this time, it can be easy to lose sight of your goal or become discouraged if things don't seem to be happening as quickly as you'd like. But when you regularly engage in emotional visualization, you keep the feeling of success alive in your heart and mind. This sustained emotional connection to your desire helps you stay committed to your goal, even when challenges arise or progress seems slow. Visualization with emotion also has a physical impact on the brain. Neuroscientific research has shown that the brain cannot easily distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. This means that when you visualize something with enough emotional intensity, you are essentially rewiring your brain to believe that the experience is real. The brain begins to form new neural pathways, reinforcing the belief that the outcome is already yours. This phenomenon, known as neuroplasticity, allows you to change your mindset and behavior over time, making it easier to manifest your desires. The act of feeling the emotions tied to your desired outcome helps to raise your vibration. According to the law of attraction, like attracts like. When you vibrate at a high frequency one that aligns with positive emotions like joy, love, and gratitude, you attract experiences that match that vibration. If you're trying to manifest something but are stuck in feelings of lack, frustration, or fear, you will continue to attract more of the same. On the other hand, if you can shift your emotional state to one of abundance, excitement, and gratitude, you begin to attract experiences that match those feelings. Gratitude, in particular, is a powerful emotion to incorporate into your visualization practice. When you feel grateful for something, you are acknowledging that you have received or are about to receive a gift from the universe. Gratitude signals that you are open to receiving more abundance and that you trust the process. During your visualization, take time to feel gratitude as though your desire has already been fulfilled. Express thanks for the opportunities, people, and experiences that will come as a result of your manifestation. This not only raises your vibration but also helps to solidify the belief that what you want is already yours. Incorporating emotion into your visualization practice is not just about generating positive feelings. It's about embodying the energy of your desired outcome so deeply that it becomes a part of your identity. When you visualize yourself as already living the life you desire, you begin to think, act, and make decisions as though you are that person. This shift in mindset is what ultimately leads to the manifestation of your desires. You are no longer waiting for something to happen in the future. You are living it in the present moment through your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Belief is the cornerstone of manifesting anything you want in life. It is not just the mental acknowledgement of your desires, but a deep-rooted conviction that what you seek is already on its way to you, or better yet, that it's already yours. The power of belief works at both conscious and subconscious levels, creating an energetic alignment between your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the outcome you wish to manifest. Without genuine belief, any efforts at manifesting are likely to fall flat because doubt, fear, or hesitation will inevitably sabotage the process. But when you wholeheartedly believe in the outcome, you send a powerful signal to the universe, creating a magnetic pull that aligns your external reality with your inner certainty. At the core of belief is the ability to trust in the unseen. Most people struggle with this because they rely on physical evidence before they allow themselves to believe something is possible. If they cannot see it, touch it, or measure it, they find it hard to believe that it exists. But belief in manifestation requires you to shift thinking. Instead of waiting for proof before you believe, you start by believing first, and then the proof begins to show up. This reversal in approach is a mental and emotional leap of faith. It's about trusting that the universe is working on your behalf, even if you cannot yet see the results in your current circumstances. This trust is built on understanding that the universe responds to your beliefs and thoughts. If you believe that you are capable of achieving something, that belief will shape your actions, your mindset, and even the opportunities that come your way. On the other hand, if you believe that what you want is out of reach or too difficult to attain, your actions and behaviors will reflect that doubt, and you will create obstacles for yourself. Belief, therefore, is not just a passive state of mind, it is an active force that influences every aspect of your life. To truly believe in the outcome, you must cultivate an unwavering faith that transcends your current reality. This means letting go of the need to control how and when your desires will manifest. When you focus too much on the specifics of how something will come to you, you limit the possibilities and constrain the universe's ability to deliver in ways that might surprise you. Belief is about surrendering the how, and instead trusting that it will happen in the right time and the right way. This doesn't mean you don't take action, far from it. But your actions should be guided by faith rather than fear or anxiety. You act as if you already believe the outcome is certain. And this sense of certainty is what drives your efforts and fuels your perseverance. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your belief is to use affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce your desired outcome and help you shift your mindset. When you repeat affirmations regularly, they rewire your subconscious mind to align with what you want to manifest. For example, if you are trying to manifest financial abundance, you might repeat affirmations like "I am a magnet for wealth" or "abundance flows to me effortlessly." At first, these statements might feel untrue, especially if your current financial situation is far from abundant. However, the more you repeat them and infuse them with genuine belief, the more your subconscious mind begins to accept them as truth. Over time, these affirmations change the way you think, feel, and act, aligning your entire being with the outcome you want. Another key aspect of believing in the outcome is recognizing and eliminating limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are subconscious patterns of thought that tell you what is and isn't possible. These beliefs often stem from childhood experiences, societal conditioning, or past failures, and they operate under the surface, quietly dictating your reality. For example, if you grew up hearing that money doesn't grow on trees, you might carry the subconscious belief that financial abundance is hard to achieve. Or if you've experienced rejection in relationships, you might believe that love is elusive or that you are not worthy of it. These limiting beliefs act as roadblocks to manifestation, no matter how much you try to consciously believe in your desires. The good news is that limiting beliefs can be identified and changed. The first step is to become aware of them. Start paying attention to the thoughts that arise when you think about your desires. Do you feel a sense of doubt, fear, or unworthiness? Do thoughts like "I'm not good enough" or "that's too hard" come up? These are clues that a limiting belief is at play. Once you've identified these beliefs, you can begin to challenge them. Ask yourself if they are really true, or if they are just stories you've been telling yourself. In most cases, you'll find that these beliefs are not based on fact, but on past experiences or fears. Once you've challenged your limiting beliefs, replace them with empowering beliefs that support your desired outcome. Instead of thinking "I'm not good enough," shift your mindset to "I am worthy of all that I desire." Instead of "that's too hard," affirm "I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to." By consistently practicing this mental shift, you will begin to rewire your brain for success, replacing doubt and fear with confidence and certainty. Belief also requires persistence. There will be times when the path to your desires seems unclear, or when external circumstances might cause you to doubt the process. In those moments, it's important to stay rooted in your belief, even when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. This is where the concept of faith in the unseen becomes crucial. It's easy to believe when things are going well, but true belief is tested when challenges arise. In those moments, remind yourself that the universe is always working behind the scenes, and that delays or obstacles are simply part of the process. Keep your focus on the end result, not on the temporary setbacks, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. A useful practice for reinforcing belief during tough times is to look for signs of progress, no matter how small. The universe often sends little signs or synchronicities that show you that you're on the right track. It could be a chance encounter with someone who offers helpful advice, a sudden idea or inspiration, or an unexpected opportunity. These small signals are the universe's way of encouraging you to keep going, even if the final outcome hasn't manifested yet. By focusing on these positive signs, you reinforce your belief and keep your energy aligned with your desires. It's also helpful to adopt the mindset that you are always manifesting, whether you realize it or not. Every thought, emotion, and belief you hold is contributing to the reality you experience. This means that if you're not actively working on manifesting what you want, you might be manifesting what you don't want. This is why belief is so critical. When you believe in a positive outcome, you are consciously directing your energy toward creating the life you desire. But if you allow doubt, fear, or negativity to take over, you are unconsciously manifesting more of the same. One of the most transformative shifts you can make in your manifestation practice is to act as if the outcome is already a reality. When you truly believe that your desires are on their way, or even that they have already arrived, you begin to think, speak, and act in ways that reflect that belief. This is not about pretending or ignoring your current reality. It's about embodying the energy of the person who has already achieved what you want. If you're manifesting a new job, for example, start acting like someone who already has that job. Dress the part, speak with confidence, and carry yourself with the energy of someone who is successful in their career. This shift in behavior helps to reinforce your belief and accelerates the manifestation process. Gratitude plays a huge role in strengthening belief. When you express gratitude for what you already have and for what is on its way, you create a powerful vibration of abundance and trust. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reinforcing the belief that you are worthy of receiving more. Even if your desired outcome hasn't manifested yet, practice being grateful as if it has. Say thank you for the blessings you know are coming and feel the emotions of joy and appreciation as if you are already living the life you desire. This simple but profound practice will help you stay aligned with your belief, keep your energy high, and allow your desires to flow into your life with ease. Aligning your actions with your desires is a crucial step in manifesting anything you want. Manifestation is not simply about thinking positively or visualizing outcomes. It requires you to take tangible steps toward your goals. Your actions must be in harmony with what you are seeking to create. This alignment is a reflection of the belief you hold about the outcome. When your actions are consistent with your desires, you demonstrate a deep commitment to bringing those desires into reality. By moving in the direction of what you want, you strengthen your belief, build momentum, and open yourself up to opportunities that might otherwise pass you by. Taking action creates a bridge between your inner world of thoughts and your outer world of experiences. While your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are foundational to manifestation, they need to be complemented by purposeful action. Imagine you are trying to manifest a new job. It's not enough to simply believe that the right opportunity is coming to you. You need to actively seek out job listings, network with others in your industry, and apply for positions. These actions put you in the path of the opportunities you're trying to manifest. Without action, the manifestation process becomes passive, and you risk waiting indefinitely for something to happen. The key to aligning your actions is to make sure they are intentional and congruent with the reality you wish to create. Every action you take should reflect your belief that what you desire is not only possible but inevitable. This doesn't mean overworking yourself or forcing things to happen. It's about taking inspired actions, those that feel aligned with your desires and come from a place of confidence, rather than desperation or fear. When you take action from a place of certainty, you move in a state of flow, and the universe responds by opening doors and presenting opportunities that support your efforts. One of the most important aspects of aligning your actions is consistency. Manifestation is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. You need to show up every day with actions that reflect your goals, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Consistency builds momentum and creates a ripple effect in your life. Small, consistent actions over time lead to big results. Think of it like planting seeds in a garden. You don't see the results immediately, but with consistent watering and care, those seeds will eventually grow into plants. The same is true with manifestation. Each action you take is like watering the seeds of your desire, nurturing them until they grow into reality. Sometimes people take actions that are inconsistent with their desires because they are driven by fear, doubt, or impatience. They may take desperate actions trying to force results, or they may procrastinate, avoiding actions that would move them toward their goals because they fear failure. These kinds of actions create resistance and block the flow of manifestation. To align your actions, you need to be honest with yourself about what is driving your behavior. Are you acting from a place of faith and confidence, or are you being motivated by fear? If you find yourself taking actions that feel forced or inconsistent with your goals, it's important to pause and realign. Sometimes this requires taking a step back to reflect on your intentions and recalibrate your approach. Another important factor in aligning your actions is persistence. The path to manifestation is not always linear, and you may encounter setbacks or obstacles along the way. In these moments, it's tempting to give up or change course. But persistence is key to overcoming challenges and staying aligned with your desires. When you encounter obstacles, view them as opportunities for growth and learning. Adjust your actions if necessary, but don't lose sight of your goal. Every step you take, even in the face of difficulty, reinforces your commitment to manifesting what you want. The universe often tests your persistence to see how serious you are about your desires. Those who remain steadfast in their actions, even when the path gets tough, are the ones who ultimately succeed. It's also essential to take actions that are aligned with the energy of what you want to manifest. This means embodying the qualities, behaviors, and mindset of someone who already has what you desire. For example, if you're trying to manifest financial abundance, act like someone who already feels abundant. This doesn't mean spending recklessly, but rather cultivating a mindset of abundance in your daily actions. Start by being grateful for the money you already have, manage your finances with care, and take opportunities to invest in yourself. By aligning your actions with the energy of abundance, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more. Similarly, if you're manifesting love, align your actions with the energy of love. Treat yourself with kindness and respect, practice self-love, and engage in activities that make you feel joyful and fulfilled. When you embody the energy of love, you attract love into your life. If you're seeking to manifest health, take actions that reflect a commitment to your well-being. Eat nourishing foods, exercise regularly, and engage in practices that support your mental and emotional health. Your actions should mirror the reality you are trying to create. Aligned action is also about recognizing and seizing opportunities when they arise. The universe will often present you with opportunities that align with your desires, but it's up to you to act on them. These opportunities might come in unexpected forms or at unexpected times, so it's important to remain open and receptive. When you see an opportunity that feels aligned with your goals, take it. Even if it's outside your comfort zone, trust that the universe is guiding you toward what you want. Sometimes the biggest manifestations come from taking a leap of faith and stepping into the unknown. Another important element of aligned action is taking inspired action versus reactive action. Inspired action comes from a place of inner guidance and intuition. It feels natural, effortless, and exciting. Reactive action, on the other hand, is driven by external circumstances, fear, or the need to control outcomes. When you take inspired action, you're in tune with the flow of the universe, and things tend to unfold more smoothly. You don't need to push or force, you simply follow the intuitive nudges that guide you toward your desires. This is why it's important to cultivate a practice of mindfulness and inner reflection. When you're connected to your inner self, you can more easily recognize which actions are truly aligned with your goals and which are driven by fear or ego. Patience is another critical factor in aligning your actions. Manifestation is a process, and it often takes time for your desires to fully materialize. During this time, it's easy to become impatient or frustrated if you don't see immediate results. But rushing the process can lead to misaligned actions that ultimately delay your manifestation. Trust in divine timing and continue taking aligned actions, even if it feels like progress is slow. Remember that every action, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goal. Patience allows you to stay grounded in your belief and prevents you from taking desperate or misguided actions. Aligning your actions means being adaptable and flexible. The path to manifestation is not always straightforward, and sometimes the universe will guide you in unexpected directions. Be open to changing your approach if necessary, and don't be afraid to try new things. If one method or action isn't working, reassess and pivot. The key is to stay focused on the end goal while remaining flexible in how you get there. Manifestation requires a balance of intention and surrender. Intention in setting your goals and aligning your actions, and surrender in allowing the universe to guide the process. Staying detached from the outcome is one of the most powerful yet often misunderstood aspects of manifestation. Many people believe that to manifest something, they must remain intensely focused on the desired result and think about it constantly. While having a clear vision of what you want is important, obsessing over the outcome can actually hinder the manifestation process. Detachment means letting go of the need for a specific result and trusting that what is meant to come into your life will arrive in the right way and at the right time. It is about releasing control and allowing the universe to work its magic. When you stay detached from the outcome, you free yourself from the stress, fear, and anxiety that often accompany the desire for something specific. These negative emotions can create resistance, blocking the flow of energy and preventing you from receiving what you want. Detachment, on the other hand, opens you up to the infinite possibilities of how and when your desire might manifest. It allows you to maintain a sense of peace, knowing that you have done your part and that the universe will take care of the rest. One of the reasons why detachment is so essential to manifestation is that it signals trust. When you are attached to a specific outcome, you are essentially telling the universe that you don't believe it can deliver what you want unless it happens exactly the way you envision it. This creates a sense of lack, scarcity, and control, which can actually repel the very thing you are trying to manifest. On the other hand, when you stay detached, you are communicating that you trust the universe to bring your desire to fruition in the best way possible, even if it doesn't happen exactly as you expected. This trust creates a powerful energy of openness and receptivity. Detachment also allows you to remain flexible and open to different paths toward your desire. When you are too focused on a specific outcome, you may miss opportunities or solutions that could bring you what you want in a way you hadn't considered. The universe often works in mysterious ways, and sometimes what we think we want isn't exactly what will make us happiest or most fulfilled. By staying detached, you remain open to the possibility that something even better than what you imagined could come into your life. You give the universe space to deliver your desire in the most aligned and harmonious way. One common misconception about detachment is that it means not caring about your desire or giving up on it. But detachment doesn't mean indifference. You can still have a strong desire for something and take action toward it while remaining detached from the outcome. The key is to care about your desire without becoming overly fixated on how or when it will come to you. This requires a balance of intention and surrender. Intention in clearly stating what you want and taking inspired action toward it, and surrender in releasing your need to control every detail of the process. Staying detached also helps you manage expectations, which can be a major source of disappointment and frustration when manifesting. If you are overly attached to a particular result happening by a specific time, you set yourself up for disappointment if things don't unfold the way you planned. This disappointment can lower your vibration, causing you to lose faith in the manifestation process and possibly even give up on your desire. When you release the need for things to happen a certain way, you free yourself from the burden of expectations and can remain in a state of calm, knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you can't see it yet. Another benefit of detachment is that it allows you to live in the present moment. When you are too focused on a future outcome, you may find yourself constantly thinking about what hasn't happened yet, which pulls you out of the present. This creates a sense of lack and dissatisfaction as you become preoccupied with the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Detachment brings you back to the present, where you can appreciate the journey and trust that everything is happening in divine timing. It helps you stay grounded in the now, which is where your power to create truly lies. In addition, staying detached from the outcome encourages you to focus on the process rather than the result. Manifestation is not just about achieving a specific goal, it's about who you become in the process. When you stay detached, you can enjoy the growth, learning, and transformation that happen along the way. You become more aligned with your authentic self, which naturally attracts your desires to you. Instead of being consumed by the need for a particular outcome, you can focus on taking inspired actions, cultivating positive emotions, and staying aligned with your intentions. This shift in focus allows you to enjoy the journey of manifestation rather than anxiously waiting for the destination. One of the best ways to practice detachment is by cultivating a sense of inner peace and contentment, regardless of whether or not your desire has manifested yet. This means finding joy and fulfillment in your current circumstances and trusting that everything you want is already on its way. When you feel at peace with where you are, you create a vibration of abundance and gratitude, which naturally attracts more of what you want into your life. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about your desires, it means you trust that they will come to you when the time is right, and you don't need them to feel happy or complete in the present moment. It's also helpful to practice non-attachment to specific timelines. One of the biggest sources of stress in manifestation is the desire for things to happen by a certain time. We often set arbitrary deadlines for ourselves, believing that we must achieve something by a particular date or else we have failed. But the universe operates on its own timeline, which is often different from our own. By releasing attachment to specific time frames, you allow the universe to work in divine timing, which may be much more aligned and harmonious than the timeline you had in mind. Trust that everything is happening exactly as it should, even if it doesn't unfold according to your schedule. Detachment also involves releasing the need for validation from external sources. When you are too attached to the outcome, you may seek constant reassurance or signs from the universe that your manifestation is coming. This can create a sense of desperation or doubt, which lowers your vibration and creates resistance. Instead, trust that the universe is working behind the scenes, even if you don't see immediate evidence of your manifestation. Release the need for constant validation and focus on maintaining a positive, aligned energy within yourself. The more you trust and surrender, the faster your desires will manifest. One powerful practice for cultivating detachment is mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you stay present and focused on the here and now, rather than becoming consumed by future outcomes. Through mindfulness, you can observe your thoughts, emotions, and desires without becoming overly attached to them. This allows you to maintain a sense of inner peace and balance, even when you're working toward a specific goal. Meditation, journaling, and breathwork are all effective tools for practicing mindfulness and detachment in the manifestation process. Practicing gratitude is one of the most transformative habits you can cultivate when it comes to manifesting your desires. Gratitude shifts your energy from one of lack and need to one of abundance and fulfillment. When you practice gratitude, you are acknowledging the blessings in your life, no matter how big or small, and aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. This alignment is crucial for manifestation because it tells the universe that you are already in a state of receiving, making it easier for more good things to flow into your life. At its core, gratitude is about recognizing and appreciating the good things in your life right now. It's easy to get caught up in focusing on what you don't have, what's not going right, or what you're still waiting to manifest. But this focus on lack only attracts more lack. When you practice gratitude, you shift your attention to what you do have, which helps you feel more positive, content, and satisfied with your current circumstances. This positive energy not only improves your mental and emotional well-being, but it also raises your vibration, making you a magnet for more of what you desire. One of the reasons gratitude is so powerful is that it helps you stay present. Often, when we're trying to manifest something, we become overly focused on the future, on the things we want but don't yet have. This focus on the future can create feelings of impatience, frustration, and even desperation, which lower your vibration and create resistance to receiving. Gratitude brings you back to the present moment, where you can appreciate the here and now. It helps you find contentment in the journey rather than just in the destination. By being fully present and grateful for what is, you open yourself up to receiving even more in the future. Gratitude also has a way of amplifying your manifestations. The universe responds to the energy you put out, and when you are in a state of gratitude, you are emitting a powerful frequency of appreciation and abundance. This frequency naturally attracts more experiences, opportunities, and resources that match it. Think of gratitude as a magnet. It draws more of what you are grateful for into your life. The more you focus on the things you appreciate, the more you will have to appreciate. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of abundance. Another important aspect of practicing gratitude is that it helps shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Many of us have been conditioned to think in terms of what we lack or what we don't have enough of. This scarcity mindset can be a major block to manifestation because it keeps us focused on what's missing rather than on what's possible. Gratitude helps break this cycle by encouraging us to focus on what we do have, which naturally creates a feeling of abundance. When you feel abundant, you attract more abundance. It's that simple. One of the most effective ways to practice gratitude is by keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, take a few moments to write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for. These can be anything from the people in your life, to the opportunities you've been given, to the simple joys of your day. The key is to really feel the gratitude as you write. It's not enough to simply list things mechanically. You want to immerse yourself in the emotion of appreciation. As you write, take a moment to reflect on why you are grateful for each item and how it positively impacts your life. This helps you deepen your connection to the energy of gratitude and allows it to permeate your being. Another powerful gratitude practice is to express your thanks out loud. This can be done through daily affirmations or simply by verbally acknowledging the things you are grateful for as they happen throughout the day. For example, if someone holds the door open for you, take a moment to say thank you and genuinely appreciate the gesture. If you receive good news or experience something positive, take a moment to say, "I'm so grateful for this." Verbalizing your gratitude helps solidify the feeling and sends a clear signal to the universe that you are in a state of appreciation. Gratitude also plays an important role in overcoming challenges and setbacks. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to fall into a negative mindset and focus on what's going wrong. However, practicing gratitude during these times can help shift your perspective and remind you that there is still much to be thankful for. Even in the midst of difficulty, there are always lessons to be learned, growth to be experienced, and silver linings to be found. By focusing on what you can appreciate, even in tough times, you cultivate resilience and maintain a positive vibration, which helps you navigate challenges more effectively and keeps you aligned with the energy of manifestation. One of the most profound ways to practice gratitude is by giving thanks for the things you want to manifest as if they have already happened. This is known as future gratitude, and it's a powerful manifestation tool. When you express gratitude for your desires as if they are already in your life, you are sending a clear message to the universe that you trust and believe in the manifestation process. This helps you align with the energy of having rather than wanting, which accelerates the manifestation of your desires. For example, if you are trying to manifest a new job, instead of focusing on how much you want it or how frustrated you are with your current situation, practice future gratitude by saying, "I'm so grateful for my amazing new job. I love what I do, and I'm surrounded by supportive colleagues. I feel fulfilled and excited every day." By expressing gratitude for the job as if it's already yours, you align yourself with the vibration of having it, which helps attract it into your reality. Practicing gratitude also enhances your relationships. When you take the time to appreciate the people in your life, you strengthen your connections and create more positive interactions. Expressing gratitude to others, whether through a simple thank you or a more heartfelt gesture, not only makes them feel appreciated but also raises your own vibration. Relationships are an important part of our lives, and when we approach them with a sense of gratitude, we invite more love, support, and harmony into our lives. Gratitude is not just about acknowledging the things that are going well, it's also about appreciating the journey, even when it's challenging. The path to manifestation is not always smooth, and there will be times when things don't seem to be going your way. But even in those moments, there is always something to be grateful for. Whether it's the lessons you're learning, the strength you're building, or the opportunities for growth that are being presented, gratitude helps you see the bigger picture and stay focused on the positive. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine is a simple yet profound way to enhance your manifestation practice. Whether through journaling, verbal affirmations, or simply taking a moment to reflect on your blessings, gratitude helps you stay aligned with the energy of abundance and appreciation. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, and in doing so, it opens the door for more of what you desire to flow into your life. The beauty of gratitude is that it's always available to you, no matter what your current circumstances are. You don't have to wait for something extraordinary to happen in order to feel grateful. There is always something to appreciate, even in the smallest moments of life. By cultivating a mindset of gratitude, you create a foundation of positivity, joy, and abundance that supports your manifestation journey and enhances your overall well-being. Gratitude is not just a tool for manifesting your desires, it's a way of life that brings more love, happiness, and fulfillment into every moment. We often think that our reality is formed by the actions we take, the circumstances we face, or the people who cross our path. But the truth is much more profound and far-reaching. The essence of our reality, the experiences that fill our days and the events that shape our lives are not merely the result of outward conditions. They are the fruit of our inner dialogue, the silent conversation we carry within ourselves every day. There is a great secret that many are unaware of, but once understood, it holds the key to transforming your world. This secret is the power of inner talking. Everything you see, touch, and experience in your life is the direct result of your habitual inner conversations. What you whisper to yourself in the quiet moments, what you persistently assume, what you rehearse in your mind over and over again, will eventually express itself in your outer world. Whether you are aware of it or not, your inner talk is the architect of your reality. If you want to understand your current life, look at the conversations you've been having with yourself. Reflect for a moment on the thoughts that occupy your mind when you're alone, those fleeting whispers that seem to come and go without much notice. Are they filled with joy, hope, and expectation? Or are they laced with doubt, fear, and frustration? This is important to observe because your life is a mirror, reflecting back to you the dominant tone of your inner talking. Perhaps you've noticed that when you dwell on a certain worry, it seems to manifest in your life, often in surprising ways. Or maybe you've experienced the opposite. When you're filled with enthusiasm and optimism, good things seem to come your way. This is not coincidence. It is the direct result of the conversations happening within your own mind. Many of us are unaware of the tremendous power our inner dialogue holds. We speak to ourselves in ways that we would never allow others to speak to us, filling our minds with criticism, doubt, and negative assumptions. We rehearse scenarios of failure, rejection, or disappointment, and then, to our dismay, we see these very things materialize in our lives. But once you grasp the truth that your inner talk shapes your world, you can begin to take control of this conversation. You can direct your inner speech in ways that align with the life you truly desire. The first step is to become aware of the tone and content of your inner conversations. Pay attention to the words and images that dominate your thoughts throughout the day. Are you affirming your desires, or are you negating them with worry and doubt? Do you see yourself as successful and capable, or do you belittle your own abilities and potential? This awareness is critical because your habitual inner talking is like a script, directing the course of your life. If the script is filled with negativity, the play of your life will reflect that. But if the script is filled with joy, faith, and expectation, then your life will unfold in ways that mirror those qualities. As you begin to notice the content of your inner speech, the next step is to deliberately change it. This is not a process of forcing or struggling. Rather, it is a gentle and consistent practice of shifting your attention from negative or limiting thoughts to those that affirm your desires. You don't need to constantly monitor every thought, but you do need to persistently return your focus to the kind of inner conversation that supports your dreams. Imagine for a moment that you are already living the life you desire. In this imagined reality, how do you talk to yourself? What do you say when you think of your goals, your relationships, or your circumstances? Begin to adopt this new inner conversation as if it were already true. Speak to yourself in ways that reflect the fulfillment of your desires. Say to yourself, I am successful, I am loved, I am prosperous, even if your outer world has yet to reflect these truths. Persist in this new inner dialogue and watch as your external reality begins to conform to the new mental picture you've created. This may sound too simple, but the simplicity of this practice is its power. The words you speak to yourself carry a vibration, and that vibration attracts corresponding experiences into your life. When you engage in inner conversations that are aligned with the life you wish to live, you are sending out a signal to the universe, and the universe responds in kind. This is a law, as certain and unchangeable as the law of gravity. It is important to remember that you do not need to see immediate results to know that this process is working. Just as a seed planted in the soil takes time to grow into a tree, your new inner conversations take time to manifest in the physical world. But if you persist in speaking to yourself as though your desires were already fulfilled, if you make it a habit to dwell in the mental state of your wishes being realized, you will begin to see evidence of this in your life. Do not be discouraged if, at first, your outer world seems unchanged. The real work is happening within. The changes you seek are first taking place on the unseen level of consciousness, and they will eventually be reflected in your external circumstances. Trust in the process and continue to engage in inner talking that supports your dreams. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when old habits of thought try to reassert themselves. This is normal. But when you notice this happening, gently bring your attention back to the inner dialogue you wish to cultivate. Speak to yourself with kindness and patience as you would to a dear friend who is in need of encouragement. Remind yourself that your inner talk creates your reality, and that by changing your thoughts, you are changing the course of your life. The key to success in this practice is consistency. It is not enough to engage in positive inner talking for a few moments and then return to old habits of thought. You must make it a daily practice, a new way of being. Begin each day with the intention to speak to yourself in ways that affirm your desires. When you catch yourself slipping into negative or limiting thoughts, gently correct the course and return to the inner conversation that aligns with your dreams. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Over time, your new inner dialogue will become your natural way of thinking, and you will find that your life begins to reflect the beauty and abundance of your new mental state. The people, circumstances, and opportunities that appear in your life will seem to align effortlessly with your desires, as though the universe itself is conspiring in your favor. But in truth, it is your own consciousness that has been directing the show all along. There is no limit to what you can achieve when you harness the power of inner talking. The same process that brings small changes can bring great transformations. Whether your desire is for health, wealth, love, or personal fulfillment, the principle is the same. Speak to yourself as though your dreams are already realized, and persist in this conversation until your outer world reflects the inner state you have cultivated. This is not wishful thinking or empty affirmation. It is the creative power of your mind in action. Every time you engage in inner talking, you are planting seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. With patience and persistence, those seeds will grow and bear fruit in your life. The understanding that inner talking shapes reality is a profound realization that has the power to transform your life from the inside out. The very fabric of your existence is woven from the thoughts you hold within, the quiet conversations you have with yourself, and the inner dialogue that constantly runs through your mind. This is not just a superficial idea, but a fundamental truth that operates at a deep level of consciousness. It reveals that the life you are currently living is not merely a product of external forces or random events, but a direct reflection of your inner state. When we think of creating or shaping our reality, we often look to the external world, focusing on actions, circumstances, or the behavior of others. We believe that if we can control or manipulate the outer conditions of our lives, we can bring about the changes we desire. However, the root of creation lies not in the external, but in the internal. The invisible conversations that occur in the mind are the true architects of our experience. Your inner talk, whether you are conscious of it or not, is constantly influencing and shaping the world around you. Consider for a moment the nature of inner talking. It is more than just random thoughts passing through your mind. It is an ongoing narrative that you continuously tell yourself about who you are, what you are capable of, and how life unfolds for you. These inner conversations are not idle, they are creative forces. Every time you engage in inner talking, you are feeding your subconscious mind with ideas, assumptions, and beliefs that it then works to bring into reality. The subconscious, being non-selective and infinitely powerful, accepts whatever you feed it and manifests it in your life. If your inner talk is filled with doubt, fear, or limitation, you are unwittingly creating circumstances in your life that reflect these negative states. On the other hand, if your inner talk is imbued with confidence, positivity, and faith, you are creating conditions that align with these qualities. The key is to recognize that your inner world is the starting point for everything you experience in the outer world. Nothing happens in your life that has not first been contemplated in your mind. whether consciously or unconsciously. To fully grasp this, it is important to understand that your mind is like a garden. The thoughts and inner conversations you cultivate are the seeds you plant in this garden. Just as a gardener tends to the soil, waters the plants, and nurtures the growth of the seeds, so too must you tend to your inner world. If you neglect this inner garden and allow weeds of negative thinking to take root, you will reap a harvest of unwanted experiences. But if you carefully choose and cultivate thoughts that are in harmony with your desires, you will see these desires blossom into reality. The law governing inner talking is simple and unerring. What you focus on internally will eventually be reflected externally. This is not a matter of hope or chance, it is a law of consciousness, as reliable as the laws of physics. Just as gravity pulls objects towards the earth, your inner dialogue pulls experiences into your life that match its tone and content. The thoughts you entertain with persistence and emotion become the blueprint for the reality you live in. The more you dwell on certain ideas, the more power they gain to shape your world. This creative process operates continuously, whether you are aware of it or not. Many people go through life unaware of the power they hold, allowing their minds to be filled with random, unproductive, or even destructive thoughts. They wonder why their lives seem filled with struggle, difficulty, or unfulfilled dreams, not realizing that they are the ones creating these conditions through their inner talking. The mind is always active, always shaping, and always creating. The question is not whether you are creating, but what you are creating. The good news is that once you become aware of this power, you can take control of it. You can begin to consciously direct your inner talking in ways that align with the reality you want to experience. Instead of allowing your mind to run on autopilot, filled with fears, doubts, or limitations, you can choose to engage in inner conversations that support and affirm your desires. This is where true mastery begins. By becoming the deliberate creator of your inner world, you become the deliberate creator of your outer world as well. This understanding leads to a profound shift in perspective. You realize that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances, nor are you a victim of fate. Instead, you are the master of your own destiny, shaping your life moment by moment through the thoughts you hold in mind. The power to create is always within you, and it begins with the simple yet profound act of inner talking. To illustrate this point, consider how you feel when you focus on a particular thought or inner conversation. If you dwell on thoughts of fear, lack, or failure, notice how your emotions and body respond. You may feel tense, anxious, or defeated. These feelings are indicators that your inner talk is out of alignment with your true potential. Now shift your focus to thoughts of success, abundance, and joy. Notice the change in your emotions and your physical state. You may feel lighter, more energized, and hopeful. This shift is evidence of the power of inner talking. What you focus on within yourself directly affects your experience of life. It is important to understand that this process is not about wishful thinking or merely saying positive things to yourself. It is about engaging in a deep, meaningful inner dialogue that reflects your true desires and beliefs. It is about consistently aligning your inner talk with the reality you wish to create and persisting in this dialogue until it becomes a natural part of your consciousness. Over time, as you continue to engage in inner conversations that reflect your desired reality, you will begin to see evidence of this reality manifesting in your outer world. This is the essence of creation. Your inner talking is the seed, and your reality is the fruit. There is no separation between the two. What you speak to yourself in the privacy of your mind becomes the substance of your life. This is why it is so important to guard your inner conversations carefully. Speak to yourself as though your dreams have already been realized. Affirm the good, the beautiful, and the true, and watch as these qualities begin to appear in your life. By consciously directing your inner talk, you are exercising the creative power that is inherent within you. You are aligning yourself with the flow of life, and life will respond by bringing to you the experiences, people, and opportunities that reflect your inner state. This is the power of inner talking, and it is available to you at every moment. Use it wisely, and you will see the truth of this in your own life. Awareness of habitual inner conversations is the foundational step in transforming your reality. It is one thing to understand that inner talking shapes your outer world, but it is another to become fully conscious of the conversations you are having with yourself on a daily basis. The truth is that most people are unaware of the vast majority of thoughts running through their minds. These thoughts occur automatically, operating beneath the surface of conscious awareness, and yet they are the very forces that create and sustain the experiences of life. Your mind is constantly engaged in inner talking, even if you don't always notice it. These conversations can be subtle and fleeting, often passing through without much attention. However, they are not without consequence. Whether you are aware of it or not, the content of your inner dialogue is influencing your emotions, decisions, and ultimately the course of your life. Therefore, if you desire to create a new reality, the first task is to bring these inner conversations into the light of awareness. The problem is that many of these habitual inner conversations are negative, limiting, or self-defeating. They are based on old beliefs, past experiences, and conditioned patterns of thought. Over time, these negative dialogues become so ingrained that they operate almost unconsciously, shaping your reality without your direct input. For example, you may find yourself repeatedly thinking, "I'm not good enough, I can never succeed, or things never work out for me." These kinds of thoughts, though subtle, are powerful creators of your life experience, reinforcing the very limitations you wish to overcome. The key to changing your reality begins with noticing these automatic inner conversations. Just as a skilled driver must first become aware of bad driving habits before they can correct them, you must first observe the habitual thoughts that are steering your life in undesirable directions. This requires conscious effort and practice, but it is the critical first step in reclaiming control over your mind, by extension, your life. To start becoming aware of your habitual inner conversations, you must develop a heightened sense of mindfulness. This means paying close attention to the thoughts running through your mind at any given moment, especially during times of stress, frustration, or uncertainty. These moments often trigger your most deeply ingrained negative patterns of inner talking. For example, when faced with a challenge, you might immediately engage in self-defeating dialogue like, "I can't do this," or "this always happens to me." These automatic responses are clues to the deeper beliefs you hold about yourself and your capabilities. As you begin to notice these habitual inner conversations, you may be surprised by how frequently they occur. You may find that much of your thinking is negative, critical, or filled with doubt. This can be an unsettling realization, but it is also empowering. By becoming aware of these thoughts, you have taken the first step toward changing them. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge, and awareness is the doorway to transformation. One powerful way to increase awareness of your inner conversations is through reflection and journaling. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on the dominant thoughts and feelings you experience throughout the day. Write them down, paying particular attention to any patterns of negative or limiting inner talk. What kinds of things did you say to yourself? How did these inner conversations make you feel? How did they influence your actions or decisions? This practice of self-reflection will help you identify the habitual patterns of thought that are shaping your reality. As you become more aware of your inner conversations, you will likely notice that they fall into familiar patterns. For example, you may discover that you tend to engage in negative self-talk when faced with new challenges, or that you habitually worry about the future. These patterns are important to recognize because they reveal the deeper beliefs and assumptions that are running the show behind the scenes. For instance, if you habitually think, "I'm not good enough," it suggests that you hold a core belief about your own inadequacy. This belief, reinforced by habitual inner talking, manifests in your life as experiences of failure or rejection. The next step, once you are aware of these habitual inner conversations, is to question them. Are they really true? Are they serving you? Most importantly, are they aligned with the reality you wish to create? For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," ask yourself, is this really true? Or is it just a belief I've accepted? By questioning your thoughts, you begin to loosen the grip they have on your mind. You create space for new, more empowering inner conversations to take root. Once you have developed an awareness of your habitual inner conversations and begun to question their validity, you can start to deliberately change them. This does not mean forcing yourself to think positive thoughts all the time, but rather gently guiding your inner dialogue in a direction that supports your desires. When you catch yourself engaging in negative or limiting inner talk, you can simply pause and redirect your thoughts. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," you can consciously choose to replace that thought with a more empowering one, such as, "I am capable and worthy." This process of changing your habitual inner conversations takes time and persistence, but the results are profound. As you begin to shift your inner dialogue from one of limitation and doubt to one of empowerment and possibility, you will notice corresponding changes in your outer world. Opportunities will appear, circumstances will improve, and your overall experience of life will become more aligned with your desires. It's important to remember that your inner conversations are not isolated events. They are part of an ongoing mental narrative that shapes your beliefs, emotions, and actions. The more you engage in a particular type of inner talk, the stronger it becomes, like a muscle that grows with use. Therefore, the goal is not to suppress negative thoughts, but to gradually replace them with more empowering inner conversations through conscious repetition and awareness. One of the challenges you may encounter in this process is the tendency to revert to old patterns of thinking, especially when under stress or pressure. It is easy to fall back into familiar negative inner talk when things are not going as planned. But this is precisely when it is most important to remain mindful of your inner conversations. In moments of difficulty, pause and take a breath. Notice what you are saying to yourself. Are you feeding the problem with negative inner talk, or are you affirming your ability to overcome the challenge? Over time, as you cultivate greater awareness of your inner conversations and practice shifting them toward more positive and empowering directions, you will develop a new habitual way of thinking. This new inner dialogue will reflect your highest aspirations and desires, and it will naturally lead to the creation of a reality that aligns with these ideals. Your outer world will become a reflection of the empowering inner conversations you have cultivated. In essence, becoming aware of your habitual inner conversations is the first and most crucial step in the process of conscious creation. It allows you to observe the patterns of thought that have been shaping your life, question their validity, and begin the process of deliberately creating a new narrative. By shifting your inner conversations, you take control of your creative power and open the door to a life filled with greater fulfillment, joy, and success. The journey begins with awareness, and from there, anything is possible. Deliberately changing your inner dialogue is the next essential step in shaping your reality. Once you have become aware of the habitual inner conversations that dominate your mind, the task is to consciously redirect these thoughts in ways that align with your desires. This is not a passive process. It requires active engagement and consistent effort. However, the power to transform your life lies within this simple yet profound practice of changing the content of your inner conversations. To begin, it's important to understand that your mind operates largely on habits. Over the years, you have developed a set of automatic thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions that guide your inner dialogue. These habits are often deeply ingrained and, for the most part, go unnoticed. They influence how you perceive yourself, others, and the world around you. For instance, if you've habitually thought, "I'm not good enough," this thought pattern has likely shaped your self-concept and led to experiences that reinforce the belief. Now that you are aware of these inner conversations, the next step is to deliberately change them. The process of changing your inner dialogue begins with intention. You must make a conscious decision to shift your thinking from negative or limiting patterns to those that are in harmony with the life you want to create. This intention sets the stage for transformation. It signals to your subconscious mind that you are ready to take control of your thoughts and create new patterns of thinking. One of the most effective ways to begin this process is by introducing affirmations into your daily routine. Affirmations are positive, present tense statements that reflect the reality you wish to experience. For example, if your habitual inner dialogue has been filled with self-doubt and insecurity, you can replace these thoughts with affirmations such as, "I am confident, I am capable," or "I am worthy." By repeating these affirmations regularly, you are planting new seeds in the garden of your mind, seeds that will eventually grow into new experiences in your life. However, affirmations are not just about repeating positive phrases mindlessly. For them to be effective, you must engage with them on a deep emotional level. When you speak an affirmation, it is important to feel the truth of it as though it were already a reality. This feeling component is crucial because your subconscious mind responds not only to words but also to the emotions behind them. If you say, "I am confident," but feel doubtful or insecure, the affirmation will not take root. Instead, when you say, "I am confident," try to embody that feeling of confidence. Imagine what it would be like to truly believe in yourself, to walk through the world with assurance and ease. The more you can evoke the feeling of your affirmation, the more power it will have to reshape your inner dialogue. Changing your inner dialogue also requires persistence. Your old patterns of thinking didn't develop overnight, and they won't be replaced overnight either. It's common to encounter resistance when you first start introducing new thoughts into your mind. The old habits will try to reassert themselves, and you may find yourself slipping back into negative or limiting inner talk. This is perfectly normal, and it's important not to get discouraged. The key is to persist in your new inner dialogue even when it feels uncomfortable or unnatural at first. Imagine that your mind is like a field and your thoughts are like well-worn paths through that field. The more you walk a particular path, the deeper and more established it becomes. Over time, it becomes the default route you take without even thinking. This is how your habitual inner conversations develop. But when you begin to change your inner dialogue, you are essentially forging new paths in the field. At first, these new paths may feel unfamiliar and difficult to navigate. You may be tempted to return to the old, well-worn routes. But with persistence, the new paths will become clearer, and eventually they will become your new default routes. One effective technique for changing your inner dialogue is to use a technique called mental rehearsal. Mental rehearsal involves vividly imagining yourself in situations where your new inner dialogue is active. For example, if you want to cultivate more confidence in your life, you can mentally rehearse situations where you feel confident. See yourself in your mind's eye, speaking and acting with assurance. Hear yourself engaging in positive inner talk, affirming your worth and capability. The more you practice this mental rehearsal, the more natural it will feel to adopt these new patterns of thinking in real life. It's also helpful to become aware of the triggers that typically lead to negative or limiting inner talk. For example, you may notice that you engage in self-doubt when you face new challenges or step out of your comfort zone. By identifying these triggers, you can prepare yourself to respond differently. The next time you encounter a challenge, instead of automatically falling into a pattern of self-doubt, you can consciously choose to engage in inner talk that supports your success. This might mean saying to yourself, "I can handle this," or "I am fully capable of overcoming this obstacle." By being mindful of your triggers and deliberately choosing new inner conversations, you are breaking the cycle of negativity and creating a new pattern of empowerment. Another important aspect of changing your inner dialogue is to cultivate self-compassion. Many of us are our own harshest critics, engaging in constant self-judgment and criticism. This harsh inner talk can be incredibly damaging, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and unworthiness. To change this, you must learn to speak to yourself with kindness and compassion, just as you would speak to a close friend. Instead of criticizing yourself for perceived failures or shortcomings, offer yourself words of encouragement and support. For example, instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," you can say, "I'm doing my best." And that's enough. This shift in inner dialogue not only helps to change your mental state, but also fosters a sense of inner peace and self-acceptance. It's important to note that changing your inner dialogue is not about denying reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about choosing how you respond to those challenges in your mind. You can acknowledge that a situation is difficult while still engaging in inner talk that empowers you to overcome it. For example, instead of saying, "This is impossible," you can say, "This is challenging, but I'm capable of finding a solution." This kind of inner dialogue helps to keep you in a positive and proactive mindset, even in the face of difficulties. Finally, changing your inner dialogue requires commitment. It's easy to fall back into old habits of thinking, especially when life gets stressful or overwhelming. But the more you practice, the more natural it will become to engage in positive, empowering inner conversations. Over time, these new patterns of thinking will become second nature, and your life will begin to reflect the changes you've made in your inner world. The rewards of deliberately changing your inner dialogue are immense. As you replace negative and limiting inner talk with positive and empowering thoughts, you will begin to see shifts in your outer reality. You will find that you are more confident, more resilient, and more capable of achieving your goals. Opportunities will start to appear, and your relationships will improve. Your overall experience of life will become more aligned with the positive inner dialogue you have cultivated. In essence, the power to transform your life lies within your mind. By deliberately changing your inner dialogue, you are taking control of the creative process that shapes your reality. This is a practice that requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion, but the results are well worth the effort. With time, you will discover that your inner world is a powerful tool for creating the life you truly desire. Persistence in new inner conversations is a crucial aspect of transforming your life and manifesting the reality you desire. Once you've become aware of your habitual inner dialogue and made the deliberate choice to change it, the next challenge is maintaining these new, positive conversations consistently over time. This is where many people falter. They may start with great enthusiasm, replacing negative self-talk with empowering affirmations, but when they don't see immediate results, they lose focus or revert to their old mental patterns. Persistence, however, is key to making these changes stick and allowing them to bear fruit in your outer world. It's essential to recognize that the mind, much like the body, operates on habits. Just as it takes time to develop physical habits, whether good or bad, changing mental habits also requires sustained effort and time. Think of it as retraining your brain. You have spent years, perhaps even decades, engaging in certain patterns of inner conversation. These patterns have shaped your beliefs, actions, and ultimately your life experiences. To undo those patterns and replace them with new ones, persistence is absolutely necessary. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. You know that after you plant it, you cannot expect it to sprout immediately. You must water it, tend to it, and give it time to grow. The same principle applies to your inner conversations. The new thoughts and beliefs you plant in your mind through deliberate inner talking need time to take root. At first, you might not see any noticeable change in your outer world. It may seem like nothing is happening, and this is where many people become discouraged. They abandon their new mental habits, assuming that they are ineffective, and return to their old ways of thinking. But just like with a seed, the growth is happening beneath the surface, and it requires patience and persistence to see it come to fruition. One of the reasons persistence is so important is that the mind tends to revert to what is familiar, especially under stress or pressure. Old mental habits, particularly negative or limiting inner conversations, are like well-worn paths in your brain. They are the default routes your mind takes because they are familiar and comfortable, even if they don't serve you. When you introduce new thoughts, you are essentially forging new neural pathways. These new paths are initially weak and require repetition to become strong and automatic. In the beginning, it may feel like a constant battle to maintain your new inner dialogue. You might catch yourself slipping into old patterns of self-doubt, fear, or negativity. This is completely normal. What matters is how you respond when this happens. Instead of becoming frustrated or giving up, gently bring your attention back to the new inner conversation you are cultivating. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not capable of achieving this," instead of getting discouraged, simply acknowledge the thought and replace it with, "I am capable, and I can find a way." This process of noticing, acknowledging, and redirecting your thoughts is the key to building new mental habits. The more you persist in this practice, the easier it becomes. Over time, your new inner conversations will start to feel more natural, and they will begin to take over as your default mental patterns. But this shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires daily effort and attention. You might think of it as a mental workout. Just as you wouldn't expect to build physical strength by going to the gym once, you can't expect to transform your mental habits with a single effort. Consistency is what leads to lasting change. A helpful approach to maintaining persistence is to incorporate your new inner conversations into your daily routine. You can do this in various ways, such as setting aside for daily affirmations, practicing mindfulness, or engaging in visualization exercises where you mentally rehearse your desired reality. By making these practices a regular part of your day, you are reinforcing your new mental habits and making them stronger. Another important aspect of persistence is maintaining your focus on your desired outcome, even when external circumstances seem unchanged. This can be challenging, especially if you are eager to see immediate results. It's easy to get discouraged when the outer world doesn't immediately reflect the changes you are making within. But this is where persistence truly comes into play. Remember that your outer reality is a reflection of your inner state, and there is often a time lag between the changes you make in your mind and the manifestation of those changes in your physical world. It's important to trust that your new inner conversations are working, even when you don't see evidence of it right away. The key is to keep your attention on your desired outcome and to persist in your new way of thinking, regardless of what is happening around you. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, it's about holding firm to your inner vision and continuing to cultivate the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that align with that vision, knowing that the outer world will eventually catch up. One way to stay persistent is to track your progress, even if the changes are subtle. Pay attention to how you feel when you engage in your new inner conversations. Do you notice a shift in your emotional state? Do you feel more empowered, hopeful, or calm? These emotional shifts are important markers of progress, even if the external changes have not yet fully materialized. Celebrate these small victories as signs that your new inner dialogue is taking root. Additionally, persistence requires patience with yourself. Changing long-standing mental habits is not easy, and there will be moments when you fall back into old patterns. When this happens, it's important not to be hard on yourself or to give up. Instead, approach yourself with compassion and understanding. Recognize that growth is a process, and setbacks are a natural part of that process. What matters is that you continue to return to your new inner conversations, even after moments of doubt or frustration. Another helpful tool for maintaining persistence is to surround yourself with positive influences. This can include reading books, listening to podcasts, or spending time with people who inspire and uplift you. When you are surrounded by positivity, it becomes easier to maintain your own inner dialogue in a positive direction. These external influences can serve as reminders of your own power and potential, helping you to stay focused on your new mental habits. It's also important to remember that persistence doesn't mean forcing yourself to be positive all the time. Life will present challenges, and it's natural to experience a range of emotions. The goal is not to suppress negative emotions, but to be mindful of your inner dialogue and to choose thoughts that support your growth and empowerment. When difficult emotions arise, acknowledge them, but don't allow them to dominate your thinking. Instead, gently guide your inner conversation back to one that reflects your desired reality. As you persist in your new inner conversations, you will start to notice changes in your outer world. Opportunities will appear, relationships will improve, and circumstances will begin to shift in your favor. These changes might be gradual at first, but as you continue to strengthen your new mental habits, the results will become more noticeable and impactful. This is the power of persistence. By consistently engaging in inner conversations that align with your desires, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind and setting the stage for the life you want to create. Persistence in new inner conversations is the key to lasting transformation. It is through repeated effort, focus, and patience that you can retrain your mind and create the reality you desire. While the journey may not always be easy, the rewards are immense. By staying committed to your new inner dialogue, you will gradually reshape your inner world, and in time, your outer world will reflect the positive changes you have made. Trust in the process of manifestation is a fundamental aspect of transforming your inner world into your desired reality. Manifestation, in essence, is the unfolding of your inner beliefs, thoughts, and emotions into the physical world. However, for many people, the challenge lies not in understanding the concept of manifestation, but in having faith in the process, especially when results don't appear immediately or when life presents obstacles. Trust is essential because manifestation is not always instantaneous. It often requires time, persistence, and a belief that the changes you seek are indeed coming into being. At the core of manifestation is the idea that your thoughts and emotions create your reality. This means that whatever you consistently focus on, believe in, and feel deeply about will eventually become your experience. But manifestation isn't a simple one-step process where you think a thought and immediately see its physical counterpart. There is a natural gestation period during which your desires and intentions are being shaped in the unseen realms before they can appear in the physical world. This is where trust becomes crucial. When you first begin working with the principles of manifestation, you may feel excitement and optimism about the possibilities of creating your dream life. You might start engaging in positive inner conversations, visualizing your desired outcomes, and focusing on new empowering beliefs. However, if you don't see immediate changes, doubt can easily creep in. You might start to wonder whether manifestation really works or if you're doing something wrong. This doubt is normal, but it can undermine the entire process if it's allowed to take hold. Trusting the process means believing that the changes you're making in your inner world will, in time, manifest in your outer world, even if there's no immediate evidence to support that belief. It's about maintaining your focus and faith, even when circumstances don't yet reflect the reality you desire. This requires patience and a deep understanding that the universe operates on its own timeline, not necessarily on the one you might prefer. But one way to cultivate trust in the process of manifestation is by recognizing that everything in life unfolds according to natural laws. Just as there is a time for planting seeds, a time for growth, and a time for harvest, so too is there a natural progression in the manifestation of your desires. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up the next day expecting it to have fully grown. You understand that it needs time to germinate, to be nourished by the soil, water, and sunlight, and to grow gradually into a plant. The same principle applies to the seeds of your desires. You plant them in your mind through your thoughts and inner conversations, and they need time to take root and grow before they can fully manifest in your life. Trusting the process also means recognizing that setbacks or delays don't necessarily mean failure. Sometimes the path to manifestation involves detours or challenges that are actually necessary for your growth and ultimate success. These challenges may be opportunities for you to develop qualities such as patience, resilience, or clarity. They may even be a way for the universe to guide you towards something even better than what you originally imagined. Trusting the process means understanding that everything is unfolding for your highest good, even if it doesn't always appear that way in the moment. Another important aspect of trusting the process of manifestation is letting go of the need for control. While it's important to have a clear vision of what you want to manifest and to engage in positive inner conversations that support that vision, it's equally important to release the need to micromanage how and when it will happen. This is where many people struggle, because they feel the need to control every detail of how their desires will come to fruition. But the truth is, the universe often has a much broader perspective than we do. It knows the most efficient and harmonious way to bring our desires to life, and it may not always align with our limited view. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up on your desires, rather. It means releasing the attachment to specific outcomes or timelines. It's about trusting that the universe knows the perfect timing and method for your manifestation to unfold. This requires surrendering the need to force things to happen and instead allowing them to happen naturally. When you trust the process, you're able to stay open to opportunities, guidance, and inspired actions that may come your way, even if they're different from what you initially expected. It's also helpful to remember that the process of manifestation is not purely about the end result, it's about who you become in the process. Manifestation is a journey of personal growth and self-discovery. As you work on aligning your inner thoughts and beliefs with your desires, you are also evolving as a person. You are learning to think in new ways, to cultivate positive emotions, and to trust in your own creative power. These internal shifts are just as important as the external manifestations you are working toward. Trusting the process means appreciating the journey itself, not just the destination. To deepen your trust in the process, it can be beneficial to reflect on past experiences where you successfully manifested something in your life. Think about times when you wanted something, and although it didn't happen immediately, it eventually came to fruition in ways that were even better than you could have planned. These past successes serve as evidence that manifestation works, and they can reinforce your faith in the current process. Another way to strengthen your trust is by practicing gratitude for what you already have. Gratitude is a powerful vibration that aligns you with the energy of abundance and fulfillment. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your attention away from lack or doubt, and you reinforce the belief that good things are constantly flowing into your life. This creates an energetic environment that supports the process of manifestation and helps you maintain a positive mindset while waiting for your desires to materialize. It's also important to maintain a sense of calm and detachment as you trust the process. When you become overly anxious or stressed about whether your desires will manifest, you create resistance in your mind and energy field. This resistance can actually block the manifestation process because it sends a message of doubt or lack to the universe. On the other hand, when you approach manifestation with a calm, trusting attitude, you allow things to flow more easily. You become a magnet for the very experiences and opportunities you seek because you are in a state of relaxed openness. Trusting the process also means trusting yourself. You are the creator of your reality, and you have the power to shape your life through your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. By trusting in your own ability to manifest, you reinforce your connection to your inner power. This self-trust is essential because it empowers you to stay committed to your vision, even in the face of challenges or delays. It reminds you that you are capable of creating the life you desire and that the universe is always working in your favor. Trusting the process of manifestation is about maintaining faith in the unseen forces that are bringing your desires to life. It involves understanding the natural timing of the universe, letting go of the need for control, and staying focused on your inner work, even when external results are not immediately visible. It's about appreciating the journey of growth and transformation that accompanies the process of manifestation and recognizing that every step, even the difficult ones, is leading you closer to your desired reality. Trust, patience, and persistence are the keys to successfully manifesting the life you truly want. Consistency in inner dialogue practice is the final, yet perhaps most crucial, key to manifesting the life you desire. While it's important to become aware of your habitual inner conversations, deliberately change them, persist in your new thinking, and trust the process, none of this will create lasting change unless you practice consistently. Consistency is the glue that holds all the other steps together. It's the ongoing, repetitive application of these principles that rewires your mind, reshapes your beliefs, and ultimately transforms your reality. Many people struggle with consistency because they often expect immediate results. They may start with enthusiasm, consciously engaging in positive inner conversations for a few days or weeks, but when they don't see quick changes in their external world, they lose motivation. However, just as with any worthwhile endeavor, whether it's learning a new skill, building physical strength, or developing a habit, consistent practice over time is what leads to mastery and real, lasting results. The same is true when it comes to inner dialogue practice. Your mind is like a muscle. To strengthen it and create new mental habits, you must exercise it regularly. Just as going to the gym once won't result in a transformed body, changing your inner conversations for a few days won't completely transform your reality. The process requires daily attention, and it's this consistent effort that eventually rewires your brain. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, proves that our thoughts and beliefs are malleable, but it also requires repetition to create lasting change. Imagine for a moment that you are learning to play the piano. In the beginning, every note and chord requires concentration, and mistakes are inevitable. But through regular practice, your fingers begin to move more fluidly, and what once seemed difficult becomes second nature. The same is true of your inner dialogue. At first, it may feel awkward or forced to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. You may catch yourself falling back into old patterns, especially in challenging situations. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes to maintain positive and empowering inner conversations, even in the face of adversity. Consistency also creates momentum. In the beginning, it may feel like your efforts aren't producing much change, but over time, the cumulative effect of your daily practice builds up. Each day that you engage in positive inner dialogue strengthens the new mental pathways you are creating. Eventually, the scales tip, and your new thoughts and beliefs become more dominant than the old ones. This momentum then begins to show up in your outer world in the form of new opportunities, improved relationships, greater confidence, and a general sense of well-being. One of the reasons consistency is so important is that it allows you to reprogram your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind operates based on repetition and emotion. It is constantly listening to the inner conversations you have, whether you are aware of them or not, and it takes those repeated thoughts as truth. Over time, the thoughts you engage in consistently, whether positive or negative, sink into the subconscious and become your default mode of thinking. By practicing new, empowering inner conversations consistently, you are feeding your subconscious mind with the beliefs and assumptions that align with the reality you want to create. For example, if you want to manifest success in your career, it's not enough to think positively about your abilities once or twice. You must consistently engage in inner conversations that affirm your success, such as "I am capable, opportunities flow to me easily," or "I excel in everything I do" over time. These thoughts will become deeply ingrained in your subconscious, and you will start to notice that your actions, decisions, and opportunities begin to align with these beliefs. Your outer world will eventually reflect the inner reality you've been cultivating through consistent practice. Consistency also helps to combat the natural tendency of the mind to revert to old patterns, especially when under stress or pressure. When you're faced with challenges or setbacks, it's easy to fall back into negative thinking or old, limiting beliefs. However, when you've been consistent in practicing positive inner conversations, these new thoughts become a natural part of your mental landscape. Instead of automatically slipping into fear, doubt, or negativity, your mind will be more likely to respond with resilience, confidence, and optimism. This doesn't happen overnight, but through consistent practice, you train your mind to default to empowering thoughts, even in difficult situations. Another benefit of consistency is that it reinforces your belief in the power of your inner dialogue. When you engage in positive inner conversations regularly and begin to see the corresponding shifts in your outer world, your confidence in the process grows. This creates a positive feedback loop. The more you practice and see results, the more motivated you are to continue, and the easier it becomes to maintain your new mental habits. Over time, your belief in your ability to shape your reality through your thoughts becomes unshakable. And this belief is a key ingredient in successful manifestation. Incorporating consistency into your inner dialogue practice doesn't have to be complicated. It simply means making a commitment to engage in positive inner conversations every day, no matter what. This can be done through affirmations, visualization, or simply paying attention to the thoughts you are thinking throughout the day. The key is to make it a regular part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth or eating meals. The more consistent you are, the more deeply these new thoughts will take root in your mind. One practical way to ensure consistency is to set aside specific times each day for inner dialogue practice. For example, you might begin each morning with a few minutes of affirmations or visualization, focusing on the life you want to create. Throughout the day, you can take brief mental breaks to check in with yourself and observe your thoughts. Are they in alignment with your desires, or are they drifting into old patterns of doubt or negativity? If you notice your thoughts wandering, gently guide them back to the positive, empowering inner conversations you are cultivating. Consistency also involves staying committed to the practice even when it feels like progress is slow. There will be days when your mind seems resistant to change, or when your outer circumstances seem unchanged despite your efforts. These are the moments when consistency matters most. It's easy to stay positive when everything is going well, but the real transformation happens when you persist in your new inner conversations, even when it's challenging. By maintaining your practice in the face of doubt or difficulty, you build mental resilience and reinforce your belief in your ability to create the life you desire. Another important aspect of consistency is being patient with yourself. Changing your inner dialogue is a process, and it takes time. There will be moments when you fall back into old patterns, and that's okay. The key is not to judge yourself or give up, but to gently return to your practice. Each time you catch yourself engaging in negative or limiting inner talk, view it as an opportunity to strengthen your new mental habits. Over time, the more consistently you engage in positive inner conversations, the fewer slip-ups you will experience, and the easier it will be to maintain your new way of thinking. Consistency in inner dialogue practice is essential for creating lasting change. It is the daily, ongoing application of positive inner conversations that rewires your mind, reshapes your beliefs, and ultimately transforms your reality. Through consistent practice, you build momentum, reprogram your subconscious, and strengthen your ability to maintain empowering thoughts, even in challenging situations. By making inner dialogue practice a regular part of your routine, and staying committed to the process, you ensure that the positive changes you are creating in your mind will eventually manifest in your outer world. In conclusion, the journey of transforming your reality through inner talking is a deeply personal and powerful process. It begins with the awareness of the habitual conversations you've been having with yourself and moves toward deliberate change, where you take control of your thoughts and direct them toward what you truly desire. Persistence and consistency are key by continuously engaging in new inner conversations. Even in the face of challenges, you gradually reshape your subconscious mind. Trust in the process is essential, as manifestation takes time and often unfolds in ways you cannot immediately see. Ultimately, the power to create the life you want lies within you, and it is accessed through the practice of consistent, positive, and intentional inner dialogue. As you persist in these new conversations, you will begin to witness a transformation in your outer world that mirrors the changes you have made within. Trust in your ability to manifest your desires, and know that with time, patience, and unwavering commitment, you can shape your reality in alignment with your highest aspirations.